So last year I was scrolling through LinkedIn and I saw this 4-day work week program that was being launched as a pilot in other countries in Europe for them to take a bunch of companies and have these employees work 4 days a week instead of the 5 days a week, and you still get paid the same salary, right? You're working for 80% of the time but still making the same amount of money, to see how does it work out for these companies. Like, is it increased productivity? Is the productivity the same? Or there anything being affected? Because they want to promote this as the future of work. We are so used to the 5-day work week, Monday through Friday we are at work, versus having a 4 days, which is why I was jealous of like nurses. They work 3 days a week, 12-hour shifts, but they got a lot done and they have 4 days to do whatever they needed to do, right? I wanted that in the typical workspace that I work in the technology world, but we don't quite have that. Instead, we are bound to the 5-day work week, and then we only have Saturdays, Sundays off, and of course the holidays. So how has this impacted? So the results are in, and I'm going to be sharing these with you from this article that I found from Mashable. Right here, the 4-day work week is much more achievable and profitable than you might think. So this is a highlight. So that sounds like good news already. It sounds very promising. So the largest trial of the sort to date, featuring 61 companies and approximately 2,900 workers, highlighting the overwhelming positive benefits of reduced work hours. The resounding conclusion: shorter work weeks are better for employees and their employers. So we all win. If you ever took the 7 habits of highly effective, successful people, there's always this win-win situation that it talked about, right? If I win, you win, we both win together, then it's a better winning situation for everybody. It doesn't make sense for you to win and I lose, right? We should both be winning. That way we both can be elevated. It works for both sides, the employees and the employers. All right, some of the pilot's key findings. All right, so let's see. Include reduce employee burnout. We go through that, especially in the tech space, because we're using our brain power most of the time. Decrease levels of anxiety and fatigue. Me looking at a screen all day because I do UX design, yes, that can pretty much happen. So or most of the other colleagues that I work with. And a majority of participating employees finding that balancing work, family, and social obligations became much easier. Of course it is. You got an extra day, and that extra day is a business day, right? So typically everything shuts down Saturday, Sundays when you have off. So you're always scrambling between work hours to try to make this doctor's appointment, call this doctor, visit this doctor, go take care of this, call this company up. And you got to try to do that between your lunchtime. And by the time you get out of work, a lot of these companies are closed. So if you have just that one extra day where you are available, then you can make all these phone calls and connections during business hours as usual. So it's harder. So this is a 35% increase in productivity overall. So we see that it did not keep everything flat. It actually boosted productivity, so which is a great sign. The results also documented an impact on gender parity and household divisions of labor among participants, as men reported a 27% increase in time dedicated to childcare, more than double the 13% increase reported by women participants. Wow. So men are actually participating more in childcare. And I noticed that with remote working, one of my best friends, he just got a baby during COVID and he's able to raise his son, spend time with his son. If he didn't have that luxury and flexibility, he wouldn't be able to experience all these first times his son is doing things, walking around the house, picking stuff up, saying dada or mama, all these things, right? So this is where remote working and having that flexibility to now a 4-day work week is even more amazing. Another important detail for companies to consider is that none of the participating employers reported losing revenue. Look at that. You didn't lose any money. On average, participants witnessed a 1.4% increase over the trial period, as well as a 35% revenue increase when compared to a similar period from previous years. Only a few companies found the need to hire more workers to fill in gaps under this model, and most saw a decrease in attrition. Attrition is a word that I'm learning because I'm working on designing a HR solution right now for the client I'm working with. So attrition is when you let people go. They get fired or they just leave the company. So meaning they saw a less amount of people being fired, let go among employees, with staff departures reduced by 57% over the trial period. That's amazing. The vast majority of participating companies, 92%, have since committed to continuing the shortened hours. That's amazing. Like 92% decided we're going to keep this. And 18 of the 61 participating companies have already made the permanent change to their standard schedules. Wow. So that's still pretty cool. Like to see this actually happening, this might be the thing. That's amazing. So this talks about the history of the company. So the workweek pilot, which ran from June to December, was conducted by researchers at Cambridge University, Boston College, and Oxford University, the UK-based research organization Autonomy, and the 4-Day Week UK campaign under the nonprofit 4-Day Week Global. It collected both administrative data for employers and survey data from employees. So I'm not going to read the rest of this. You can definitely check this article out furthermore and to know more about the company. But this is amazing to see this actually happening. My thoughts on this, yes, we need to implement this and try this out. I mean, I don't know how I would do, because right now I work remote, so it doesn't really affect me. It's like regardless, commuting time is the same. I go from my working area to my chilling area. It's pretty much a 30-second commute for me, right? It's not that bad, not even. So I don't know how it would affect my productivity or any sense, but I guess the fact that you're not committing 5 days, you're able to crunch in all your work in 4 days and everybody's working the same amount of hours and you have this extra day. Yes, it can bring more ideas to you because you're not thinking about it. Because remember, rest is an important part of recovery and getting better at something. You work out, right? You can't work out every single day. You work out every other day. That's how I do it. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I rest Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days of rest. So that way my muscles can rebuild and I look stronger, right? More in shape, and I rest. And you have to sleep every single day as well. Put in your 7 hours. And if you don't, of course, your body's going to suffer. So you may be working out, but resting is another important aspect of it so your body can perform better. And it helps us in everything. Our brains perform better. Your brain cannot operate 24/7. It needs time to rest. So the fact that you're able to rest now 3 days away from work and putting 4 days towards it, I see how it can increase productivity and make things a lot better. We are so stuck on this standard old school way of this 5-day work week. Yeah, it's time for some change. Let's try something new and see what happens out of it. If this trial, since this trial has proven, it's no longer if, it has proven that this thing is actually effective, I'm hoping that more companies in the United States adopt it. So if you got 4-day work week plus it's remote, beautiful thing, beautiful thing. And if you still got to commute, you do save a day of travel, a day of not actually thinking about work, doing work, and you can focus on the things that really matter. Sometimes we do get bogged down and caught up with so much work that we don't do smart changes. We don't make smart decisions for certain things. Our brains got to pull away from it. It's like when you're looking at a problem for so long on a screen, you stay stuck there. You can't figure it out. I bet you as soon as you step away, come back an hour or two later, you're going to figure out the solution in a couple of minutes. I cannot tell you how many times that has happened to me. So I do strongly encourage it, and I hope more companies start adopting it. So it looks like this was a successful trial. Bring this up to your managers, your employers, and see how it all goes. Me, I work as a consultant, so I'm more on a corporation side of things, right? So I have clients and everything. My hours vary and such like that. However, I do try to stick to more of the standard 5-day schedule. If this was to happen, I could probably fit in extra work or another client on that 5th day. Who knows? Whatever the case may seem to evolve, this is where I trust God to guide the whole situation and guide my path for me. So if you found this insightful, share this with someone. I'm looking forward to sharing more content with you in regards to things I found in the employee landscape. We do know that layoffs has happened. There's a lot of things that are going on. Companies are going through transition, but there seems to be some positive, especially with this like 4-day working period versus the 5 days, and you still get the same amount of pay. So peace and love. Like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment if you have any questions for me. I'm always try to answer them as quick as possible, or any thoughts that you may have. Peace and love, and I'll see y'all next time. Hustle, 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 step.